Tony Abbott's attempts to dodge controversy failed today.
He was confronted with a 67-year-old pensioner.
Gloria called up.
Hi,
Mr.
Gloria.
Abbott,
Hi.
I work on an adult sex line to make ends meet.
What was that?
Oh, doesn't look good.
What a creep. What a total creep.
A pensioner who works on a sex line, I would be a little bit like, whoa, OK.
It just adds to the gaff-prone, anything around women Tony Abbott.
Can you imagine another world leader dropping the ball like this?
He's mocking the people who dare to criticise him.
It just shows that Tony Abbott doesn't get it.
It didn't improve my call rate last night. I only got one call and it only lasted for 4 minutes.
John Fane, good to see you again. Stop it. If one more person winks at me, I'll kill them.
I can't wink without my mouth coming out.
Do you accept the PM's explanation of the...
I wasn't in the studio and didn't see what happened.
I was looking at John Fane. He was smiling at me and I winked back at him.
What I did was, and you've seen Tony Abbott's reaction.
Mr. Abbott, I've got a few things to say to you that I hope you can listen to without smirking or winking.
A pensioner who does phone sex work to make ends meet says Tony Abbott is as sleazy as some of the people who call her.
Prime Minister, are you regretting yesterday's wink?
Yes.
I think it's time he stepped down as the Minister for Women. Would you consider that?
No. I will do my best, having made a mistake yesterday, to make none today.
Well, let's deal with the wink straight up, shall we? Jonathan, it caused Tony Abbott an awful lot of grief. Was the reaction, in your view, overkill or appropriate, and why did it hurt him so much?
This is the problem with the way media works at the moment. There's this moment and it's captured and then it feeds into social media and social media goes completely berserk. Twitter goes berserk, and then the mainstream media is watching Twitter. You know, the news directors are watching Twitter throughout the day, and so then it feeds back into the news cycle and goes on TV and gets replayed.
Don't you think this would have always fed into the news cycle, something like this?
I don't know. I just think it's so frenetic now, and everyone's watching. Mainstream media are following Twitter as much as it's the other way around, and this just makes this stuff.
Okay.
You know,
I mean,
move
that's the environment in which we're now working. I mean, that's just the new version of the water cooler or whatever you want to call it. It is what it is. And it was
so what did you think of the wink?
Oh, look, I wasn't offended by it at all. I think it was, you know, Tony Abbott does have a bit of a sort of habit of winking. It's sort of like a baby boomer dad thing. I don't
well,
find it...
in fact, we thought we remembered something here in his eyes, so we went looking for it. Turns out Tony Abbott is a winker from way back. Let's have a look. There he goes. That was at the swearing in of the ministry.
I think it's something, you know, quite friendly that he does to bring people in. I think it was obviously it was a mistake, and he admitted as much. But I think the fact that so much was made of it is probably worrying for the government, only in that it shows that there's a very sort of strong vein of anti-Abbott sentiment that you can tap into pretty easily.
Yeah, so it doesn't matter what the medium is.
Yeah.
It was, to a degree, and this is exaggerating, to a degree, it was his Karl Rove moment, the one that blighted Kim Beazley. It wasn't the magnitude of the gaffe, it was just the timing. Kim Beazley was in trouble already. Same thing with the Prime Minister.
And then it plays into all of the supposed anti-woman's...
It's confirmation bias, isn't it? It's, you know, this sort of imagined window into this black, monstrous soul who despises women, you know? This is the imagination that sort of...
Well, look, I had a response to hearing...
What was your response?
Well, it sort of, my eyebrows went back to the nape of my neck, but I don't wink because I simply look like I've lost my glasses if I tried to wink. I don't think it's surprising that someone does have a reaction to that sort of statement.
It was very human.
But really what you said is right. It overshadowed everything else the government was trying to do. They were already having a bad week. The polls were terrible for them, and Tony Abbott's approval rating was, you know, very low.